Perfect. We are live now, Michael.
I feel alive.
You feel live?
I do.
Perfect.
I feel alive. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good, thank you.
It's great to see you again.
It's very awesome to see you, Michael, and to be here on the show with you today.
No, it's super duper. Should I put my glasses on, you think? I mean, I
Are
kind
you
of...
sure? You want to look even older than you are, like?
You tell me. I mean, do I look older or just like a guy that can't see?
Both.
Yikes. Maybe I will take them off. But then I won't be able to see my notes. I don't know what to do.
Really? You cannot see your
I
notes?
can see it. I mean, that's why it's written in such large letters.
Oh, that's why it's getting big. I understand now.
It's for the seeing impaired. I did it myself.
I understand now.
I increased the font to 18
Okay.
on the paper.
But if you want to use your glasses, I think it's important that you can see your
I
notes.
can see.
So if you want, just go ahead.
Oh, God. Is it going to be like this all day?
Maybe.
Let's talk a little bit about e-commerce again.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
I love this topic. And I guess the title for today is e-commerce is not solved.
Yeah.
Right? And if you go back and you look at innovations in e-commerce, I don't know, in my mind, it doesn't feel like it's changed in almost 25 years, if not more. So do you know when, let's talk about things that were very innovative in e-commerce. One-click buying. I remember when it first started, actually. Let me just do a little bit of math. I was still older than you are now back then.
Yeah, actually, like, in my life, I don't know if I knew a lot of different stuff in e-commerce.
Well, think about it. Since you've been born, what are you, 27 or something like that,
27.
right? So in your lifetime, there's not been a lot of e-commerce innovation.
Has always been the same thing for me.
It's pretty much always been the same.
Yeah.
But if you go back to 1997, when I was 32 years old, which again is older than you are today, Amazon patented one-click buy. And it was a revolution. I think the patent got approved in 1999, and it just changed the way everything happened. But since then, I'm trying to think of another thing that's changed. I wish we had that little button with crickets so you can make the crickets play.
Yeah.
I can't make the cricket sound.
Because we are thinking about it, but yeah, actually, you're right. Like, in my whole life, I didn't see much more innovation. Maybe what I would say is like we can see like the difference between people who want to go with marketplaces or people who want to build their own brand online, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not like real big innovation in terms of tech or in terms of technology. Maybe more behavior. But even that, Amazon is still like huge, right? So
it's massive. But even like the back-end innovation is stuff that most people don't see, right? So if there's been like warehouse connectivity or warehouse automation, or if you look at some of the stuff that Boston Scientific is doing to automate warehousing. You know, those dogs they have that flip upside down. But they're building a lot of machines that do warehouse automation as well. But on the front end, like how come, let me ask you this. Why is it there's no social shopping? Think about it. When you were a kid, right, you'd go to a mall or go to some street, some shopping street, like Le Champs-Élysées. Why do you go there? You go there, one, to shop, but two is because it's social.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
Just there's the social interaction. But online, what's the social shopping?
Yeah, there's nothing else.
But why?
Maybe you can go to social media and shop that you buy a bit, but
right.
so
But
much,
again,
right?
with all the technology that we have,
it's not the same thing. Yeah,
it's not the same thing at all. But if we talk about innovation in broadcasting, think about what we're doing today. I just want to make an equivalency. Think about what we're doing today. We have a couple of great mics, a pretty decent camera, a laptop, and an audio mixer. And we have our own, and of course using Facebook Live and OBS, but we have our own TV station, which we just flung up in like an hour.
Yeah.
So there's tons of innovation in this room. But why, just think about other innovations you could have in e-commerce. Can you come up with any? Because I can come up with thousands of them. And I want to know why they're not here yet. Go ahead.
First of all, I like the idea we were talking just about you in Bangkok. I'm in Paris, and what about we go shopping together, like
together. So
in Champs-Élysées, for example.
Yeah,
you know?
let's say it's like 6 o'clock at night in Bangkok. What is it now in Central European time? It's 5 hours different.
5 hours different.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Yeah.
If I could meet you, so if I could be telepresent on the Champs-Élysées when you were walking there, and you had some kind of technology, maybe glasses that we could share. But also that I could hear the sounds that were there in high definition audio and see the scenery as you looked around. I could walk into a store with you, or I could sit at a cafe with you or with your family. That I had haptics so we could feel telepresent.
Then you would have to try then. Yeah, try the clothes, try the t-shirts, try the suit. It would be great if you had something at your home that would allow you to
Oh, exactly. So you can think about a way to do this, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. You're on the Champs-Elysees and you walk into some high-end store that doesn't exist. Maybe like, actually, have you heard of this French leather maker, Goyard? Goyard. So it's on, I can't remember what street it's on.
Okay.
They sell globally now, but for the longest time, they were just this small niche brand in Paris.
Paris, okay.
But imagine if I could go into that store from Bangkok.
Yeah.
And feel the bag.
Being there.
Like I'm there.
Yeah.
But also maybe have a mirror in my house that has some kind of VR, AR, some kind of telepresence thing with it that allows me to hold that wallet and see what it would look like with my monogram on it. For people that know the Goyard brand, they'll know what I'm talking about. But now you can't do that. Now all you get is a website with just like a little picture of it. And yeah, you can give them your initials and it'll show you it there, but it's not tactile. It's not visceral. Go ahead.
The only thing they do is they provide you with free return if you don't like. So you can just buy, try, and if you don't like, you can just ship back, right, for free.
Right.
That's the only thing they do to make you try.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Like, let's start a small shop somewhere and just go while we stay in Bangkok at home, right?
Right.
With friends, for example.
So I have this concept. I think we talked about this last week. I have this concept about how like Amazon and these marketplaces are really just the department stores of the internet. And that over time, people get tired of the discovery problem. And the best way to do that is to go back to the boutique, go to Fifth Avenue, go to Madison Avenue, go to the Champs-Elysees, go somewhere, go to Milan, right? And if you can, here's the thing too that I think about. The world is going through a process now of trying to create something called a digital twin. You should think about this, actually. It's really important. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. And if you consider that Google and Apple actually tried to do this, and Garmin and some other companies tried to go out and do street views for maps, it's only kind of a halfway solution, right? And street view is really hard to use. It looks neat when you first do it, but just like moving down the street is clunky.
Yeah.
But imagine a real-time representation, so an actual digital twin of the world, where you can see and feel and hear and smell the surroundings, and then move that into an e-commerce situation.
When you thought about that, I'm thinking about the travel industry. It can be a huge...
So I've already thought about this for the travel industry.
Yeah, for the travel industry, it can be like a huge deal for them.
Right. So again, a little bit of a diversion, but I've already had this idea, and that is, imagine a situation where, you know, somebody has like a dying wish, or somebody lost their legs, or they just, for some reason, they can't travel, or COVID.
COVID, for example, yeah.
But they want to see what it looks like from the top of the Eiffel Tower. I've never been there. No, I haven't. And I'd like to go.
That's nice, actually.
Well, because if you understand the design of Paris as a city with these central and concentric circles, it's actually gorgeous from the sky, right? Not just on the ground. But I've never been there. But imagine if there's a digital twin there, so I can actually experience getting on the elevator or walking up the stairs, or the same thing for the Statue of Liberty in New York, or going to the top of the Empire State Building, or any of these things. But because we're talking about e-commerce, yeah, I think for travel, it's amazing. Right? Who wants to sit on a plane for 14 hours?
But we can do the same to go to a shop and meet the person who worked there, and maybe like we can have a personal assistant who would be AI. So it would not be like a real guy. It can be like AI.
But imagine this though, yeah? Imagine this. Right now, because I was thinking about this too. Okay, it's great. There's a little store on some side street in Paris that sells these leather goods that are amazing. But if anybody in the world has these sort of virtual reality glasses and can just show up to the store, you could have 25,000 people in this tiny little store. It's a mess.
At the same time.
At the same time. But how do you fix it? So you fix it with this digital twin, where when I'm in the store, I can have a setting that just says, there are only 12 other people in the store, so I feel like it's social. And because I'm an English speaker and not a French speaker, and because the French-speaking staff doesn't want to deal with me, because it's hard, then that store can actually virtually hire somebody anywhere in the world who speaks English, and their working hours are from, 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, U.S. time, let's say.
Yeah.
And if I click on a button or alert them, they're in the store with me virtually, but they know all the products.
Yeah.
And then we can pass them back and forth using haptics and technology. That would be amazing. And then the store can be insanely crowded in reality. But you wouldn't know it because all you see are the 10 to 12 other customers.
Yeah. And also, I'm thinking about the experience. Have you ever go to a store and you don't want to try, or you don't want to talk to the staff?
Oh, all the time.
Just because you, I don't know, like just don't feel comfortable, or
Just
you feel
don't.
shy.
I
or
hate it
you
actually.
just don't want that, right?
No, leave me alone.
And sometimes you want to be alone, or sometimes you want no other customers, so you can, like,
Yeah.
try stuff.
Sure,
and
sure, sure.
Be annoying, and
Absolutely.
try everything, right?
Absolutely.
In this kind of experience, we could feel that because
But you can configure it, yeah?
we can configure that,
Yeah.
and we can like create an exclusive experience for anyone at any time in any store.
Right. So exactly in any store. So this is what I mean when I talk about innovation in e-commerce.
Yeah.
Right now it's dead. It's just static sitting
There's
there.
nothing, yeah.
Right. So Amazon's biggest new invention is you can go into a store and there are no people there. I don't think this is not a great invention for me because I think that people want to deal with other people. And to be fair, we can create technology with telepresence, I believe, so that I don't necessarily want to deal with an avatar. I want to deal with another person who's deeply knowledgeable about that product and can say to me, Michael, you don't want the blue because it doesn't go with your eyes. But actually, if you get this shade, it'll go great. What do you normally wear? And then I can virtually put on some clothes, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have to go into a dressing room.
Can you try?
I can try it on, see what it looks like with that new product that I might buy.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So if there's some people who have some knowledge in augmented reality, then definitely do something like that.
But this is what I mean when I say it's not solved yet, right?
Yeah.
In other words, we're not even close. The Amazon where I shop today, to me, looks like the same Amazon I shopped on when it was just a bookstore. Sure, there are more products there,
Yeah.
but there's been no sort of shopping experience innovation. And think about this too, right? We already talked a little bit about this social thing. Nike used to do this thing where they would put, excuse me, like basketball hoops in their stores.
Yeah. Actually, as I told you, I was living in Dubai before.
Go ahead.
And the Nike store in Dubai is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's first huge. Like, we have awesome window on the whole city, so it's so nice.
Right.
So there's so many people who just go in the store to take picture of outside,
Right.
of the city, just because it's amazing. So the experience when you go to this Nike store, and yeah, you can do so many things. Like the staff is so friendly. Like you just want to go there because that's cool, right? And yeah, they can do that in the physical world, but online.
Could you imagine like building an online experience similar to what we just talked about? Yeah, go ahead. I
Yeah,
interrupted
but
you.
yeah, in online, that's so cool, right? There is no interaction. There's some stuff, like we try to get the live chat, or we try to do some live. That's cool, but that's not even close. That's going to this Nike awesome store
No.
with all of these like basketball loop and stuff like that.
No, and they should have like, but they should have things like, so in a real physical store, you can have hoops, you can have games, right? So you can have 3-on-3. They used to do this in Harajuku in Tokyo.
Okay.
It wasn't Nike, but in between like the Gap store and some other store, they put a small 3-on-3 one basketball hoop court.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you could just watch people. You had to book it and stuff, but people played games there all day Saturday and Sunday, and there was always a crowd around too. So it was useful for everybody. But again, let's try moving that online or using it for online to offline commerce.
Actually, I'm just having an idea right now. Like,
Go for it.
Like people love to play video games, right?
Yeah.
And I love to play video games with my friend. So what about we create some games for the e-commerce website, and then you can, like, for example, let's launch an e-commerce website that sells stuff for sports, and we create a sports game.
Yeah.
On the website, right? And the players in the game, they are using the t-shirt or the cap or the shoes that you can buy in the store.
So here's another idea, and no one's done this. On the weekends, right? Let's say you're a big fan of, I don't know, pick your favorite football team. PSG.
Just lost.
You didn't even have to ask. You didn't have to think about it.
Just lost yesterday. So bad.
Right, but if you're an Arsenal fan, if you love football,
Yeah.
right, or if you love rugby, whatever it is, if you're still young enough to go play on the weekends, but let's say there's COVID, why not create a video game? Right. Let's say again you're in Paris, I'm in Bangkok. We want to shoot hoops together. Now we don't have to have all the haptics and stuff, although we could do that. But let's say we do a 3-on-3. I have 3 of my buddies in Bangkok. You have 3 of your buddies in Paris. No, not kidding. And then the people in the game are us. So the avatars in the game are not like professional basketball players or professional sports people. It's you and me. But to play, we've got to buy like an NBA jersey, and it's a virtual jersey, right? So I can buy like a Larry Bird one because I'm a Boston Celtics fan. You can buy a Magic Johnson one because you're a Lakers fan, kind of thing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is all innovative commerce. And now when we show up every Saturday to shoot hoops, we get all the functionality of the game, right? But now it's us playing. It's so much more personal.
Definitely.
Why am I playing a game with LeBron James? He's already awesome.
Yeah.
I don't want to play against him.
You
I want to beat you. Here, let me put my glasses on again. Now you can beat me because now I can see. No, but you know what I mean?
No, definitely. I see the idea. And actually, we should try that. We should try to create a game or find something easy to integrate on one of my e-commerce store, and just see if the engagement of the people is better, and also maybe it can drive growth in terms of traffic.
Absolutely.
Because I want to play with my friends. I'm gonna say, hey, go to this website. We're gonna play this game. That's awesome. And then you can have a viral effect which drive traffic, which is the hardest thing to have on the internet because the competition is so high, right?
Well, we talk about discovery all the time. Sorry, go ahead.
So this is so hard. So maybe like by making this kind of experience, we can drive traffic, sales for free just by making a new experience, right?
Right.
And
Exactly.
we don't pay Facebook, we don't pay Google.
We don't pay anybody.
We
don't pay Amazon 30%.
Yeah.
Right? We don't pay
Yeah.
Apple 30%.
Yeah, actually, I should try to think about a store that I have that we should do that.
You just stole my idea. I want 7% of sales.
Okay, you can. That's fine.
But again, this gets back to a little bit of innovation.
Yeah.
And think about it. We're just two guys here chit-chatting with some notes, right? And if you can make it more social and actually more interactive, because I think one of the things that happened last year with COVID is that people are realizing how important just like the mental health around being social is. Do you know what I mean?
Just go to a bar and have a beer. It's different from having a beer at home. by
Alone.
yourself. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There's just that human interaction, I think, is really important. And I think we figured that out last year, viscerally.
Yeah.
We really figured it out. But even if you go to a bar alone, just that feeling that there are other people around. So shopping, I think, is the same way. Right? When we were kids, we used to just go to the mall, play video games, and just walk around the mall just for fun. And no one's replicated that. Anyway, so I think that's a great idea.
Definitely. Perfect.
It's a ton of ideas. If anybody's watching and has a question, can we take questions from people?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. We have a live chat, so like you can just type in the chat and see the questions.
Yeah, so if you have ideas or if you have questions, Martin's smarter than I am, so ask him all the questions.
Yeah,
I don't have any answers.
Much smarter.
I have glasses to look smart, but actually that didn't work anyway. It just made me look old, apparently. Joking online, joking offline, doesn't really matter. So what other kinds of things do we see that are innovative in e-commerce?
I think like I think we see a lot like business model like marketplaces or or business who try to launch their own websites to get a brand online, But I think there's also a lot of other company who are doing things another way. That is super interesting.
Tell me.
Like for example, let's take the example of VeePee.
What is VeePee?
That was in France.
Okay.
It's the new name of a company that was called before Vente Prive.
Vente Prive. What does that mean in English?
It means private sales.
Right. Vente means sales. Prive, private. Yeah. So private sales.
Yeah, private sales. And actually, the idea is super simple. And I remember I shopped on their website like maybe 10 years ago.
Really?
My mom loved it. Really.
My mom loved it.
Yeah, she loved it. And actually, you could go on the website only if you were sponsored by another member. So you're like, okay, cool. So how do I get there? Oh, now I can get there. So like that's special, right? And what do they do? Like they get the inventory that is not sold from the company.
Right.
And
from any company.
From any company. No, actually, it's like more like great company like Nike
or Chanel
Adidas,
or something.
Chanel,
so good brands. Yeah.
It's nice brands. It's not like the small brand that nobody knows. Like the
so stuff
brands.
That people want.
Something people want,
but haven't been able to buy for some reason.
Couldn't
get to the store, whatever.
Company did not sell that, and that it's at inventory.
But it's not like they're because a lot of companies like do this thing where if the stitching's not good or if the logo's a little bit off.
That's not that.
It's not this though, right?
No, but for example, you have a summer collection,
right,
and you have a bunch of T-shirts that are not sold,
right.
So you go into the winter collection So what do you do with the summer t-shirt?
You can't throw it away.
That's the idea, right? So you cannot throw it away. So this company VeePee, what they do is that they get the excess inventory and they say we do not sell that for you.
Okay.
So how do they sell that? They do flash sales. Monday 8 p.m. for 2 hours.
That's it.
You're gonna be able to buy the Nike t-shirt from last year at a discounted price.
Right.
That's it. We just do that. And
but is it like a discounted experience? Do you know what I mean? Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to walk into a store to buy a fancy brand and go to like an outlet mall.
No.
I really don't want that experience at all.
And this is,
you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the beauty of VeePee and maybe why they are so successful is that the experience as a buyer is premium. Like they never sell that as a discounted item or something like cheap or something like that.
Right.
No.
They don't say like buy last year's garbage.
No,
it's just like
that's not the idea.
buy the top level stuff.
Yeah.
Only for you.
Only for
Exclusive.
you. Exclusively for you. That's private sales.
Right.
And that's only during these 2 hours. And once it's sold out,
it's gone.
It's easy sold out. So I remember my mom waking up in the morning to be there at 8 a.m. because maybe there is
her size is gone.
Only her size.
Or her color's gone.
Two pieces, right?
Right.
So like it's very limited supply. And once it's gone. There's no way that you can get more. So it really drives a lot of traffic in France. The company grew a lot.
Right.
And yeah, now they're making like...
This can't be a big business though, right?
It can be a big business.
How big though? What are their sales, you think?
Right now, I checked like just before the show, and in 2018, they were making like 3.8 billion a year in sales. 3.8 billion euros, which means like
four something billion US dollars.
Yeah, a year.
Either way, in either currency,
yeah.
It's a lot of money.
And there are many in France. They are in Europe. I don't know like how much sales they are doing outside of France. But
right, we can look that up though. But still, that's a gigantic number.
Yeah, that's huge.
But what are their margins? And I don't. It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to know off the top of your head, but because they're not storing them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're consigning them, right? So we don't know. I don't know actually if they're buying them first and then selling them, or if they're just selling and then splitting profits with.
I think it depends on the brand. I think
could do.
I think there's some product that they better buy first and then sell,
maybe.
And maybe some others that they just promote. And yeah, I think it really depends because they also then after like all the let's say clothing, perfume and stuff that they did that, but then they launch a new product for trip. So that you can buy vacation, hotels, flights on the same model. And for this way, what they say is that like if your hotel room is not sold at 11:45 p.m., it's worth nothing.
It's zero. But other companies have done this. I don't want to interrupt you, right? But other companies have done this. There was a company in the United States called Hotel Tonight.
Okay.
That in the end got bought by probably Priceline through Agoda or Booking.com.
Something big.
Yeah, something big. Because that's like the travel mafia there. We can talk about it. But anyway, so did VeePee build this travel business?
Yeah. They did that.
And is that also big and profitable?
It's huge also. Yeah, it's huge. They do both. They have both business.
So should we just go out and build this thing?
We should.
Why don't we do it? Just contact a couple of suppliers. Do you know anyone that does tech?
Yeah, we have a tech. I can definitely build the tech.
They don't call you Dr. Tech for no reason.
Yeah, we don't call you Dr. Tech for no reason. So we have the tech, so we can definitely do something like that. We just need some suppliers. So in case somebody in the audience have some excess inventory, and you want to sell that, just contact us.
Yes, if anybody in the audience has some excess inventory and they want to see if we can sell it through. I don't know what we're going to call this thing, but we got to do something, right?
We need a name.
We need a name.
We need a true name. Yeah, we need a true name.
Yeah.
But we can definitely do that. Let's do it, Michael. That's cool.
I'm in. I'm definitely in.
Perfect. Well, when do we start?
I don't know. What are you doing tomorrow?
Okay, tomorrow, flash sales tomorrow.
No, okay. No, it's going to take some time to build that out, but actually not that long, right?
Not that
the key
long.
thing is going to be to get the inventory, then figure out the logistics. But I think we should definitely try this.
Definitely, let's do it.
Because I think there's definitely a market for these types of things. So what other kind of new businesses, what other kind of new businesses have you seen? Or just new models, different things that maybe people haven't talked about?
Yeah, the different, I don't think that's like, I think that's very interesting because obviously that's working, right? The VeePee model that's working, and also like it's made everybody happy in the process. The customer is happy, the supplier is happy, VeePee is happy. So in the end, it completely made sense to do e-commerce this way.
Yeah.
Then another one I wanted to share with today was the Vinted business model.
Vinted. It sounds like a wine business.
No. It's for
It's the VIN.
VIN. Yeah, true. TED.
Vinted, like vintage.
Vintage, yeah.
So it's
vintage.
like, is it selling old things?
Yeah, they sell. It's for second-hand clothes.
Oh, not secondhand wine though.
No.
Not like a wine that's already been opened.
you drink
Already been opened.
But
I don't want this. Vinted.
No. It's for clothes.
Okay.
Like you have clothes that you don't use,
Right.
and you just want to sell them. So you take a picture, you go on the website, and then you can just sell them on this website.
And that's an existing business. Is that also in France?
That's also in France.
Okay.
Now they go to Europe.
Okay.
And they are getting very big now. Like,
Is it new?
It's like a few years.
Okay, but relatively new.
Yeah, relatively
because
new.
VP's been around for a while.
Yeah, I've been there for a while, like maybe 20 years, I think.
Okay.
15 years.
Okay.
But yeah, Vinted is like, I don't know, 5-6 years, something like that. But they are huge in France, like very big.
I want to get back to Vinted in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking in my mind, right, I asked you, is this a premium experience? And you said yes. So there was a company in the United States called Overstock.com.
Okay.
And it just sounds like a bad experience, doesn't it?
Really?
I know it got big. I don't want to buy Overstock. I want to buy
Private sales.
Vente Prive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
It just
Yeah, you're
sounds
right.
so much better.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Vinted. So Vinted is this business that sells your old clothes?
Yes, second-hand clothes. So actually, they are a marketplace, but just it's not professional people selling their stuff on that. It's just individual who sell the clothes that they don't wear.
Oh, that's interesting.
Anymore.
I mean, look, one of the words that I always put down when I talk about e-commerce is, well, two of them are discovery, right? How do I discover the best products? And then how do I trust the person in the marketplace? So it'll be interesting to learn about how Vinted deals with trust, yeah?
So what they do is this way. They act as an escrow, so they keep the money
Okay.
of the buyer until the buyer confirms that the transaction is fine. And then if there is a dispute, they don't pay the seller, so they can handle the dispute, which means like they only handle when there's a problem, because the buyer can confirm, he say that's fine, boom, they send the money to the sellers. They don't have to deal with the non-problems transaction.
So they're almost acting like a stock exchange. No, in a way, right? And I'll tell you why. When you buy a stock or sell a stock,
Yeah.
we're back to the big short again, right?
We go back
always
to
comes
finance.
back. Always comes right back to finance for me. Don't you know anything else?
You actually don't you know
Don't know anything
else.
else. Can I put my glasses back on again?
Yeah,
No, but
just you get to look smart.
I look smart even though I'm not. Isn't that the first line of the movie?
Yeah.
Should I start using stock market jargon? No, but the point is that when I buy a stock, I don't pay the seller directly.
Yeah, you pay the stock exchange.
I pay the exchange.
Yeah.
The exchange takes the money and then settles the trade with the other side.
Yeah.
In most cases, actually in all cases, I have no idea who the other side of that trade is. Well, unless it's an off-market trade. But in almost all cases, I don't know who the other side of that trade is.
Yeah.
And if I fail to deliver, which is what you're talking about, the stock, then they won't pay me. Right, so it's the same thing.
Yeah. That's the
Okay,
same
it's just interesting that mechanism works. It's also a harder business logistically because it means they have another step to do.
Yeah.
In the privé, in the private sales business, you're just buying something that you know exists. It's a brand name.
Yeah.
It comes from a manufacturer or from a trusted seller to begin with.
Yeah.
So a different model. But in this case, it's neat. So they provide almost like stock exchange services.
Yeah. They get to act as an escrow, which means either have a partner for that or they need to have their own banking license
Right.
to be able to keep the money for people.
Right.
I think they have a partner. I don't think they have a banking license.
No, I don't think so either.
But it's working well, It's really working well. And actually, it shows that people are okay with this model. Because actually, that's fair, That's fair. Like, if you sell me a T-shirt, but I don't trust you because we are over the internet, we happy that Vinted can keep the money for us until I say, okay, fine, the T-shirt is okay.
I'd love to know what the average waiting time is between
I
the
think
time
that
where I approve and I
Just a
actually
few
get paid.
days. I think that's super fast.
Right.
It gets to be super fast.
It should be fast, right?
If it's not fast, they cannot scale.
Right, but why do I ask? Do you know why?
No.
Because let's say we're selling 1 million T-shirts, Okay, and each one of them sells for $10.
Okay.
And I settle T plus 3. It's already back to finance again. But I settle T plus 3, right? Because I have to approve that the t-shirt's good. I have to make delivery or take delivery. And then the escrow guy has to then take that money and then pay it out to whoever the seller was.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have 3 days of how much money's sitting in a bank account somewhere. Well, if it's a million t-shirts and it's $10 a t-shirt, I have $10 million in a bank account somewhere.
Yeah, but we remember that's not for professional. That's for certain angels. That's for individuals.
I understand that,
So
but
we
it's
don't have
just
this kind of problems.
no. It's not that. It's not that. The point is that from a Vinted standpoint,
Okay, yeah.
they're always going to have a certain amount of money
Yeah.
in an escrow account somewhere
Waiting.
waiting.
Yeah.
So what do they do with that money?
Yeah.
They can actually lend it out.
You think they do that?
Absolutely.
You think there is a finance
Depending on how they've
business?
set up this escrow services, but there's a finance business that can definitely be built around this because there are short-term securities that they can buy even just for a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So instead of taking that money and putting it in a bank, they can still. There's a way to leverage
I think
payments
maybe they do that. Maybe they do it.
for sure.
Maybe they do that, or maybe they don't do that now because they are small. Maybe but
Right,
once,
right.
Once they reach a
For sure.
so level, maybe they can do it.
Yeah, I'm always just trying to think like, what would you do with that money if you had it in the bank for 2 or 3 days? Because there's definitely a way to earn money by having money.
Yeah.
We talked about this offline, right? You want to go back to the time value of money? No more glasses jokes.
You really want to loot smart, like every day in finance.
Next time I'm putting on my suit.
Nice, but yeah, you see, like I think that's very interesting that this kind of model can work
So do I.
at such a big scale. It's not a small company. It's really working very well first in France, but now in all Europe. And I think it really shows that if you get an escrow, somebody that people can trust, you can facilitate transaction between people,
Sure.
and people can trust each other easier if there's somebody in between that can tip the money for you. And that is what we recognize as a trustworthy figure, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But they show that we can maybe allow a lot of other stuff to be sold this way.
So I think every country probably has their own version of this.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was growing up,
Okay.
we would have this thing called a garage sale.
Okay.
All the stuff that was just like
Yeah,
sitting in your
you go to
garage. You just kind of open up the doors. Most people would do it like on their front lawn.
Okay.
But that's kind of what Vinted is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, you could do Vinted and combine it with like an eBay model where people bid on it,
Hey, you should do that.
right? So that's an interesting new business model. But this idea of like having a garage sale on steroids
Yeah. Online.
online where everybody's selling
Yeah.
all their stuff.
But I think the key difference also with VeePee is that you don't buy things to the seller. You buy things to Vinted, who act as the escrow, check the transaction, and then give the money to the seller, which we trust. Like for example, it's like on Amazon. You don't really buy directly to the seller. You pay on Amazon website,
Right.
and then Amazon gives the money to the seller.
Right.
So if there's a problem, you are like, okay, I pay on Amazon website, so Amazon is gonna help me to
Right.
to handle the problem. So it brings trust. So people go buy on this website. Here, that's the same. I think we have a lot of example of other websites that just allow people to just sell their stuff, like carousels, for example. But if they don't handle the payments, it means that you do the transaction directly with the seller.
Right.
We can scam you. We can go with the money or any kind of stuff, right? But here, as they handle the payments, it brings trust and safety.
Right. Carousel is a business I just don't understand.
Yeah.
I really don't understand why people think that that's going to be a big business. Because if they're not doing what Vinted is doing,
Yeah.
if they're, again, using a big word, but if they're not disambiguating the connection between the buyer and the seller and creating the trust, if they're just willing for me to like go, I'm just waiting for Martin to deliver that T-shirt to me.
Yeah. And I paid him directly on PayPal.
And I paid him directly on PayPal, and I didn't get anything, and then he moved.
Yeah. No.
I just don't think anybody wants that model over time because it doesn't exist in the real world. Right? In other words, if, again, getting back to the garage sale, if I come to your house and I buy like a vintage Beatles album and I take it home and I put it on my record player and it's all scratched, or it doesn't work,
You go back.
I'm coming right back to your house and getting my $3 back.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
That's how it works. But on the internet,
But
you
I
cannot-
can't do that. I can't go back to the guy in Carousel and go, I'm sending it back. Give me my money back, because I don't know what did you call it? The dispute disintermediation is. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. I don't use sites like Carousel because I've not understood them. But just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not a valid business.
Yeah.
But I don't get it.
That I think being the escrow is much better.
Way better, because
Better.
now you can trust. Again, just like what a stock exchange does. I'd never buy stock in a company from you directly.
That sounds strange, right?
It sounds super strange. But if there's an exchange sitting in the middle of it, I can do that all day. Because the exchange is definitely going to settle with me. Even if somebody fails to deliver to the exchange, I still own those shares.
Yeah, because that's fine. It's the exchange who's gonna handle that, and that's why they are paid for, right? They are paid for delivering this trust and
Sure.
delivering the problem. So yeah, that's true. And actually, it feels like for me now that we are in Thailand, it feels like for me here, people trust each other more than we have in France, and there is less problems of that here in Thailand. If that's what I feel.
So
you have much more experience than me. So what is your experience?
So
What do you
it's a
think?
really interesting point, actually. My feeling is that people trust other people more than they trust big e-commerce companies.
Really?
Way more.
Really? That's
There used to
interesting.
be this fallacy in time. So a lot of the stuff that happens here is cash on delivery.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason...
In France,
Yeah.
forget that.
No.
It will never
Cash
work.
on delivery? Somebody brings like a 65-inch television to your house. He goes 10, 20, 30.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. But here,
No problem.
no problem. It's cash on delivery. And you give that cash to somebody you don't know, and they take that cash and they deliver it back to the store.
It's crazy.
No matter how much cash it is.
crazy.
It's rare, actually, to have somebody steal it.
Yeah.
Again, for cultural reasons. If you think about, and this is a story that was reflected to me 5 or 6 years ago, explaining how cash on delivery worked, or one of the reasons why it does work, right?
Okay.
Is that if I'm the delivery guy, it's likely that my family has helped me buy my motorcycle or my car for delivery. And I owe my family the responsibility of doing the legal thing. So if I'm using my car, my truck, or my motorcycle to deliver expensive products to people, and I take the cash on delivery and I steal that cash, now I've not just done something illegal, but now I've embarrassed my entire family. And I can't do that.
Already, you think there's like this
Cannot do that.
family aspect to
Absolutely.
this?
This has been reflected to me because my family put in 5,000, 10,000, whatever thousand, for whatever country you're in Southeast Asia, and helped me buy that vehicle. So not only do I owe them money back, but if I steal something, if somebody who helped me buy that from my family, my uncle, my cousin, my sister, finds out that I stole something,
Yeah,
unacceptable.
unacceptable. Okay, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
actually, I'm very happy that it works this way here. Like, you feel so much better. Like when you can sell something with cash on delivery, or even buy with cash on delivery, so you can check first, right? It's even better.
I bought some of my audio equipment upstairs.
Yeah.
It's like microphones, cash on delivery.
Yeah, and that's so I
didn't know-
expensive, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody take a risk, but that's working fine,
I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Never.
And I had much more problem in France with
For sure.
like stuff like Uber Eats for example. The delivery guy eats the food on the way, and that happens so many times.
Does it really?
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, that's terrible.
And here, never.
Never
happened to me. In France, it really happened a lot of time. Like you just wait for your food, and the guy just eat that.
Dude, I'll give you the perfect example. No, I ordered food. I want to talk about food delivery because I think this is another example of a place that definitely needs to have the business model reworked. So we should talk about that in a second. But let me give you an experience that I had last week. This is real. I was at True Digital Park, and I live, in Prakanong somewhere, yeah? And I knew that if I ordered, it would get there around the same time that I was arriving at home.
Cool.
But the mechanism for the service that I was using was bad, so it kind of just wanted to be delivered here because that's where I was physically located when I placed the order.
Okay.
And I kind of figured this out halfway home. And I went back and I checked, and I'm like, oh
Shit.
this is going to come to True Digital Park. Cannot have that because I'm not there. I'm going to be at home in 15 minutes. So I was communicating back and forth with the guy, and he called me. And he's like, are you at True Digital Park? I'm like, nope. And then he just brought it home. No complaining, no nothing, no extra delivery fees. And of course, I paid him COD.
Really?
Yeah, I tipped him obviously because he just did the right thing and made my life easy. Again, getting back to your VeePee experience. If the experience is great, then it's a premium product.
Yeah, definitely. And that's very interesting because I'm not surprised that you had that in Thailand because like it just feels the right thing to do, right? And they're going to do it, even if I'm not paid extra or something.
But no moaning. Yeah. This guy didn't say like nothing. Yeah. None of that. He was just like, okay, you're at home, no problem. Where are you again? Okay, I got it. Shows up like 15 minutes later. It's no problem.
No problem.
And the food's not going to be piping hot anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
No, definitely. That's why I think that's very, very interesting and to see like how things work between continents based on culture.
Yep.
And we see that here. I'm very happy that it works this way because it's just made things way easier, right?
Don't have to think about it.
You don't have to think about it. And yeah, it's really sad that we cannot do the same in France and people eat the food the way.
It's like a half-eaten taco.
Because you have to pay first in France. When you order food, you have to pay online. The guy gets paid. I think like Uber Eats model is that gets paid a fixed salary, very small, plus like 1 or 2 euros per delivery.
And hopefully tips, right?
No, there's no tips in France.
Okay, I don't know that. See, again, another cultural thing. I don't know that. So even at a restaurant, there are no tips?
No, there's no tips.
Oh my God. So if I sit down to like an outdoor cafe and have some wine and some pate and stuff, which I love doing, and I get the bill, it's just the bill.
Just the bill.
No tipping.
No tipping. We don't do that in France.
I did not know that.
Really? You didn't know?
I got to go to Paris right now and get some money back.
Yeah, actually, I think the waiter in France, they know American guys.
I know they do.
They know.
I can still see the look on this guy's face, actually, the last time I was in Paris. He took my money.
But no. Like in France, we don't tip people and stuff like that. We don't do that. So, yeah, that's very interesting, I think, to see the difference.
Let's spend a little bit of time talking about food delivery, though, as like a business. It's just the unit economics still, no one's figured out how to make this work. Have they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So DoorDash, I think, went public. So did an IPO, an initial public offering in January, I think, maybe in December. I can't remember, but very recently.
Okay.
And the stock actually spiked up on the opening and has spent the last, like, however much time since the IPO, just like dribbling lower. And a stock that, excuse me, that went public right around the same time, Airbnb, is above its IPO price and above the highest price that it traded on the opening day as well. At least it was as of yesterday because I looked at it. So today, nice. I don't know.
What did they IPO?
DoorDash.
But where?
In the United States. On the NASDAQ, I think, or on the New York Stock Exchange. I can't remember. Yeah, some U.S. Exchange. But what is going to happen to all these food delivery companies? And, like, what's a great innovation? I have an idea. But you tell me, what's a great innovation in the food delivery and sort of the food restaurant space? Because it's kind of e-commerce-y, right?
Yeah, actually, for me, that's e-commerce for food
Fair
business,
enough.
Right?
Yep.
That's definitely like how food business could grow, start, and scale with thanks to the internet.
Right.
So thanks to this logistic issue that they had, and that this company came and fixed that to be able to deliver the customer, but outside the restaurant. For me, that was a nice opportunity for restaurant to be able to scale and use the power of internet. And something that I saw and I found that was so very interesting. It was a restaurant with no dine-in. You just could not go eat inside the restaurant. They had a very small place in Dubai. And
in Dubai?
That was in Dubai. Was the real estate is so high, so expensive, right? So like instead of getting, I don't know, a 100 square meters or 50 square meters restaurant, which would cost super expensive.
Very expensive.
Just get a 10 or 20 just for the kitchen and just deliver outside. So you have less staff, less problems, less expensive for the location.
Right.
And it just made everything so much easier to start, scale, and grow, right? So I was like, this is so great. And this is how we can do e-commerce in the F&B business.
So this is my idea for like a centralized kitchen. Okay. Here's what I think. And a buddy of mine and I in the States were talking about this. You buy a building, like a shop house, right? There's different floors. Or a warehouse, but you want it to be in the city, right? Because just like your Dubai example, you want to be close to the people to whom you're delivering because
you have to deliver fast.
Even if it's a sandwich that may not be hot, you have to have fast delivery because you don't want the sandwich to get soggy and then it's put this on the side and leave the tomatoes off, you know, all this kind of stuff, right? Whereas if you get it in a restaurant, they make it, you get it, you eat it almost immediately. But I think you buy a shop house where every floor is a different kitchen.
Okay.
But every floor can be any kind of kitchen. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And that means that if the pizza place on the top is not selling, you just shut down the pizza place.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You just change.
You change it to a chicken place.
Okay.
And you can do this for any kind of food in any neighborhood. So again, no wait staff, no nothing. But it's all, and because you started from scratch, there are no legacy systems. We talk about this a lot in the sort of insurtech space and the fintech space. Mm-hmm. If you've got to use new systems with old systems, that connectivity through APIs or whatever, it's just clunky. Mm-hmm. But if you're building a restaurant from scratch that has no in-house dining, it's just food making.
That's great, right?
It should be a killer business. But here's the other thing I want to know about this. Why is a company like DoorDash and Deliveroo, right, which is a European version of this that just went public, terrible IPO actually. Why have they built a business where the unit economics are bad? Because logistics businesses, which is what they are fundamentally,
they are this business behind.
Like Kerry in Thailand, or Asian Tiger.
That's the same thing.
But they make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. So why did the food delivery people decide that they were going to build a business that makes no money? Because that's what they did. They priced it so it makes no money.
Why? I have no idea.
Because it wasn't. And again, this gets back to a lot of the businesses that get built in the startup world. It's kind of a bigger conversation, but I think that because they built that business not to ever make a profit, just to raise money.
You think that's just the hype?
Just to raise money. Yeah, because the people that built that business don't own it anymore. And an IPO is fundamentally a way to take money off the table.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Right? So how come there's no, we talked about this earlier. Are we okay?
Yeah, we are fine. Perfect.
How come there's no premium experience for food delivery? Think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like a guy shows up in a tuxedo, comes into your house, sets your table for you. No, but you'd pay for this, though, right?
Yeah, you pay for the service, yeah.
He opens the wine for you.
So it's made, so maybe it can make it profitable. So
massively profitable.
There's more services.
Because you'd pay for that.
Yeah, he gets the wine. And actually, especially here in Vente, it's never so easy to find a good bottle of wine. Not like in France, we have so much, but here it's much harder.
In France, you just like sit down and it's just like, I'll take whatever that guy's drinking. It's got to be good.
It's going to be good, but here, that's true. It's not so easy to find. So maybe we can launch that kind of service, like have a just kitchen restaurant. There is no dining. We just go to get premium experience at the house of the people, right?
Right.
And we sell the experience, the wine.
Full stack, right?
Full stack, yeah.
Right. So you own the food, you own the kitchen.
Yeah, that's it.
You own the delivery business as well, because you know that business is not going to make a ton of money unless you make it premium. Mm-hmm. Have that person show up clean, knowledgeable. I would pay for that with 3 bottles of wine.
That be cool.
Which one would you like? Because it's cash on delivery anyway.
Yeah.
Which one would you like? I would recommend this one. But if you like full-bodied, or if you just want to have white, even though it's meat, take this one. This is the best one.
You want to try? You want to try? Do we just try? I have 2 glasses. You want to try now?
Right.
Oh, that's
and then they leave. No, but then they leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are multiple uses for this, for dates, for proposals, for business meetings. Mm-hmm. And this is different than catering, right? People are like, oh, it's already a catering business. No. I'm not talking about catering. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Oh, definitely. I completely agree with you. Have you seen a startup doing that somewhere?
No.
Never.
No, these are just ideas that have been bubbling around in my head for years.
But then you get to find the customer then. So I feel like the beauty also of using Deliveroo or this kind of stuff is that they get the traffic already on the app. So it's kind of the same problem as you go to Amazon or you build your own store.
I get it.
They have the traffic, right?
I get it.
So that's cool to get the traffic. Especially when you're a restaurant and you don't know much about tech and marketing and all of that stuff, right? You don't want to, you don't want to get problems with that. But another startup could do that.
But how about this? This gets back to the conversation we were having before about me being in Bangkok and you being in Paris and shopping together on the Champs-Élysées, right? Mm-hmm. What if I have a restaurant that has no in-house dining, but the food's amazing, and I can figure out a way to get it to you quickly enough so that it's delicious? But I employ the same model we talked about for that little leather shop, the leather goods shop in Paris, where I actually employ waiters and waitresses. So I order from them.
Okay.
Again, like I'm in the restaurant, because we can simulate that through VR and AR.
So you can feel.
So I can feel and smell like I'm there. I can be social while never leaving my house. But now at a restaurant, because the model works everywhere.
And you can see the cook. You can go in the kitchen. You see the cook.
Yeah, I can watch the cook preparing the food. It would be super cool.
So we can sell cooking class at the same time, because the cook can teach people.
Sure, while he's making the filet mignon, he can just say, "Please slice like this, or spice it like this, or do whatever."
So we can sell cooking class at the same time.
Right, but this is the point of like, there's been none of this innovation.
Yeah.
No one's even trying.
Definitely.
All they do is they go out and they go ahead.
Actually, that made me think about a business that grew up in Belgium. Actually,
tell me.
It's Menu Next Door.
Menu Next Door. Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
No, but I can guess what it is. But go ahead.
Okay, but actually, like I had the same idea. Like a few years ago, I was like, "Oh, that's 13 great idea. I want to do that." And myself, the idea came from the fact that my grandmother, she cooked so well.
Right.
So well. Like,
right, and the neighbors would want that food.
And the neighbor and me and I.
But they're not coming over for dinner.
But they're not coming over for the dinner, right? And I asked my grandmother, "You should open a restaurant. It's so good. It's going to be packed all the time."
Right. She's like, "I don't want to do that."
She's too old for that.
But also, what a pain.
So I was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna get the customer. Yeah. right. I'm gonna get the customer to show how.
It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah. Because I was like, if you made food for you and my grandpa, you can make for 4. It's not so much a bit more pain, right? Or 6, that's fine. And let me sell the 4 more to like 4 bankers, who are working in the same area.
Right.
They go eat at the same shitty restaurant every day.
Right.
They could eat your awesome food every day. They would be so happy.
And they would pay for it.
And they would pay for it. And you would make more money for it. You would see people, maybe different people every day, which is great because you just live with my grandpa. So it's kind of boring.
He's getting less and less interesting every day.
But like, do you see what I mean? Like, I was really seeing that just through the eyes of my grandmother. You're making great food. You're just living alone with my grandpa. There's a lot of people around you who could be super happy to eat your food, but they have no idea about that.
Right.
So what about we launch a website and we say, great, like we just allow people just like you to be able to cook and sell their own food to their neighborhood.
Right.
So the idea is not to deliver the food; it's the people who go to get it at the front door, right? So it's really local. So we can imagine like in the same building. Like when I was a student, I was living in an apartment.
Right.
I ate cooking. I ate groceries, but I'm sure in my building there was one grandma cooking so well.
Cooking amazing.
Cooking amazing, right? Maybe 2 floors just above.
Right.
But imagine she was on my website.
Oh my God, you'd be there every day.
I would be there every day.
Every day.
And I would be so happy, right? I would be so happy because no need to cook, no need to do groceries and all that stuff. The grandma would be so happy to cook for a young kid, So I was like, that's perfect. We should do that. I did not do it.
But somebody did.
And a few months ago, Patrick told me about that. I was like, oh, that's exactly my idea. Exactly the same. And so actually, like, they did that. They had some success. It was growing fast. And then they got shut down because of the regulation. They said that every people who cook from home,
more than 4 people or whatever, qualify as a restaurant, then have to follow these cleanliness rules, right? They have to get regulated.
So they qualified the people cooking from home as a restaurant. So that's completely shut down overnight, the business.
That's terrible.
That's terrible, right? But maybe that was just in Europe. Maybe in Asia it would work differently. Because here, look at all of the people who make food themselves and who sell. Do you think they have a restaurant license? I don't think so. I don't think so, and that's completely okay.
I don't speak English well enough to answer that question. Let me put my glasses on here.
You want to look smarter?
No, I don't. I want to look really stupid, actually. I think that business has a problem scaling, but I want to see more innovation. That's the whole point of this conversation.
Yeah, that's definitely not innovative.
No, it's very innovative, but I want to see that kind of innovation, right? This is what we talked about at the beginning. That's why we call this e-commerce is not solved yet, because it's not solved yet. And we talked about this earlier. You can have 100 ideas, not all of them are going to work, but you can test them all really quickly and really easily, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't work, spin up another idea.
do try something.
Go
else.
try something else, but do something else, right?
Do something.
The last thing I want to say is, so we've recently been introduced to a company called Hangles,
Yeah.
or as you would say,
yeah.
Angles.
Angle.
If you're gonna make fun of me for the glasses,
Oh, that's okay. Okay, fine.
this is payback for the, this is payback for
Fine.
glasses.
You can on my French accent. There's so many things to say, so, so that's okay. I'm used to it.
One time only. No, but we should have them on the show
Definitely we should have them
because we want to talk to people that are already innovating
and doing stuff.
and doing stuff that are
Creating
actually
new
going
startup.
going out there, taking risk, building businesses, and trying to say, I don't think e-commerce is solved yet either, and I think I have one solution for it, not the only solution. Right? That's the thing about innovation. It's not just one solution. We should have them come on the show.
Definitely, let's invite them
Okay.
on that show.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let's stop here.
So now it's official, so we get to do it.
Yeah, no, we have to do it. We told everybody we were going to.
Yeah, we
If
get
the
to do it.
Hangles team is out there, you're on,
Yeah, on
whether
the
you
show.
like it or not.
We did not tell you.
We
are
didn't tell
sorry,
before.
but this is our official invite.
This is our official invite. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Michael.
This was awesome.
That was awesome.
This just keeps getting better, actually.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
I just
man.
turn off.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just turn it off. If my mouse